muted, that there's no
Sorry.
that there's no worries. So I want to remind you to keep yourself muted when you're not sharing, so to avoid the background noise. And also this will be recorded as Myrna just started recording. So this will be shared with you later on the newsletter. And now we go to the main part of the day. We will have a panel of some coaches who are the core team of Self-Care is Not Selfish. And our first presenter is Shauna Kemp. And she will start with the sharing about how to bring together different holiday traditions from you and your partner's upbringing to make a plan that is right for your family. So Shauna, I want to learn from you about that.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this lovely Saturday. My name is Shauna, and I'm in Anderson, South Carolina, and I have a young family, 3 daughters, and our first little son on the way that's going to be born right before Christmas. So, welcome to Little Story Time with Shauna. As Christmas is approaching and as the holidays are approaching, I know lots of people can have lots of stress, like one of our questions asked. And I want to share first a story. This happened 4 years ago when it was our first Christmas as a little family in our new bought first house. And it was a really, really bad Christmas day that we had. But you got to go through some of these bad days so that you could actually learn some important things about yourself and about, let's say, your husband or your family, and things that are important or not important to somebody. So I learned that day that I'll never ever forget that actually Christmas is a very important time for my husband. And I also didn't realize that it actually wasn't that important to me. And I didn't care a lot about that day, and I didn't put a lot of effort in to that day as my husband would have liked. So when I told my husband, so we had a little family. We had 3 girls, 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old at that time, 4 years ago on Christmas Day. And when I told my husband, I'll take care of the meal, he expected, or he thought, it would be some beautiful feast that we would have at our home. Well, that's not how that's not me. I don't really spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I try to avoid that place sometimes. So I thought me taking care of a meal means we'll just go out and find a place, no big deal. So we go on our little adventure, driving around and driving around and driving around, trying to find dinner. And of course, basically, what I also learned is, oh yeah, no places are open. My dad was with us as well, and my poor husband was getting angrier and angrier and angrier. So we finally, after an hour, settled on this little Chinese restaurant, little Chinese shack, where I enjoyed my meal, but it was pretty silent, and the kids were all really hungry at that point, and that is not something that he wanted to have as our Christmas meal. So all that is to say that was a great and our worst Christmas together, because from that point on, we learned to talk to each other, and we learned to actually ask, what is important to you? What would you really like during the holidays? What are your expectations? what's your responsibility and what's my responsibility, and how can we blend our new family together. So we were just actually talking about it earlier today, and of course laughing about it, because you can laugh about it, but on that day, there was not too much laughter. So yeah, the tip that I would like to share is really about kind of reframing your problem and seeing it as, okay, what's our goal and what's our vision, and do some imaginating. What do you really want? You yourself figuring out what's important, what's not important, where do you want to put your stress, and where do you not care so much, and also figuring out with your spouse. So what I learned is, like I said, Christmas is important. He wants to take time and take effort and make effort and beautify things. He wants to do the gingerbread house. He wants to do the thumbprint cookies, which is what he did with his mom. He's German, by the way. So growing up, making the thumbprint cookies, and yeah, and for me, of course, what's more important is just the overall environment, like that there's not a lot of clutter on the floor, or like the wrapping paper is put away after a present is opened, for example, because that would trigger me if I see like a bunch of trash on the floor. And also, yeah, preparing in advance so that on Christmas Day I can also enjoy it and I don't have to just work. So from that point on, our Christmases have gotten better and better, and we enjoy it more and more because we talk to each other, and we figured out just how to work together more and to blend it. And I'm thankful very much for him, because thanks to him, my kids get a really nice Christmas. And if it was just me, we would just be a little bit more chill and have Chinese maybe. But that is also definitely okay. But as long as you discuss it and work it out with your partner. So I don't know how long I talked for, but there it is.
Our next presenter is Myrna. I don't have your topic in front of me, Myrna. So take it over.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm going to offer some tips. I'm going to share my slide in a little bit, but the story I'd like to share is sort of similar with Shauna, except for that I was doing it with my adult children. So I forgot the year, but it was my parents' 50th anniversary celebration, and they wanted to go somewhere warm for their celebration, and it turned out that Christmas that year was the best time for everybody to get together. And so we ended up going to Puerto Rico, and it meant that we had to think about including more people in our celebration. And also we were together for, I think, 5 or 6 days, 4 or 5 days, and asking them what they wanted to do. So the focus was less on gift sharing. It was more about, I really wanted my kids to have a greater relationship with my adult children, and my adult children to have a relationship with their grandparents, which they grew up across the country from them. And so we ended up doing things where we had like 3 or 4 cars, and when we went places, we mixed up the cars so that people who were in the cars were not just their own family members, but they got to know their cousins or their aunts and uncles or the grandparents. And we also we stayed in this lovely little villa, not a commercial one. It's just an Airbnb. And we had an outdoor kitchen, and we did cooking together. So we made cooking teams also, where it was again mixed up generally intergenerationally. And it was a really great experience. And we had our Christmas dinner on top of a building where there was like a patio looking out into the ocean. And we created some really wonderful memories. And so I guess my sharing is about how to create those kind of connections in relationship and in the even around the holidays. So I'm going to share my screen and just share a couple of tips that we have done, and I think your takeaway, which we're going to talk later in breakout rooms, is what applies to your family. So one of the things, especially when we got, I guess I did it as a kid, but as adult children, was we drew names and kind of a Secret Santa kind of thing. And even a couple of years we did it where the gift needed to be homemade in some way. And I got a lovely apron, which I still wear, for one of my daughter-in-laws. And another thing is to do some kind of appreciation activity. Oftentimes at Thanksgiving, we think about gratitude or whatever, but one of the activities that I've done in a number of different settings, I just called it Pass the Paper, but you have everybody write their name in the middle of the paper, and then you pass the paper. I'll pass them all to the left, and you write one thing that you appreciate about that person, and somebody has to be the kind of timekeeper or director and say pass after another 30 seconds pass until you get your own papers back, and then you can see all the things that other people acknowledged or are grateful for about you. And another thing is a gratitude jar, where especially if you have a family where the kids are still living at home, throughout the year, you can write on a slip of paper something that you're grateful for and put it in the jar. And then at the end of the year, or Thanksgiving or Christmas or the New Year's, you pull them out and read them, and you remember the kinds of gratitudes that you had. So it's sort of it can be an individual thing. I could just do it about things I'm grateful for, but we can make it a family level thing as well. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't share my slides fully. There we go. And then another thing is, especially if it's extended family, is some kind of communication starter or mixer. The family bingo, where you have little squares and it says something in each square that people have possibly done, and you go around and get people to sign one or more of them, is a way to sort of break the ice if it's with people that your extended family. The family conversation jar, I will send this out in the follow-up email, but it's like conversation starters, basically, that you cut off in strips and you put them into the jar. And then this doesn't just have to be done at Christmas or Thanksgiving. It can be done any time of the year. You pull out a piece of paper and then have each member of your family share something. Another fun activity is a scavenger hunt. So I've done this with my siblings and with our extended families, and we made teams, and then we had a list of things that people had to do. Usually scavenger hunts are things you have to find somewhere, but this was like go to the town square where we were staying and record yourself singing Christmas carols, or go through a drive-through and ask for one drink and 5 straws, or however many people are on your team, and record yourself, or go to a movie theater and ask people and record them with their permission. How did they like the movie? Or go to a place to vacuum your car. And one time, some of my cousins and some of my nieces and nephews and my children, they didn't have a coin, so they just made the sound of vacuuming the car. And then when we came back together, we showed the little video. And I've actually done this even with a workshop for high school and college age. So you can be creative with the scavenger hunt, but I think it again gets family members who maybe don't know each other as well together, and they have a task to do. And lastly is just something about creating new traditions, like that suit your family, especially as the family grows. One thing with younger children is sometimes building a fort or reading books together, or sharing stories together inside the fort. Somehow that's magical. And also just creating new ways of relating to adult children and grandchildren, what kind of traditions you want to create. Like in my family, we're having Thanksgiving on the Friday after Thanksgiving because we want to be respectful of my daughter-in-law's family who is going to gather on Thanksgiving. Or what is it like, what kind of things would the whole family enjoy together? Or maybe breaking it up into groups so that there are different interests allowed to happen of when we all get together. So also sometimes when we all get together at Christmas, it's just too much energy all in one house. So having different kinds of ways of going to a movie or ice skating or on a hike or whatever it would be. Yeah, those are just some tips that have worked for me and my family over the years, and also some of them, as I said, I will share them. I have shared them in my book and in other settings too. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm going to introduce the next video, I guess, since I'm still here. Kendra Stein, one of our coaches, isn't able to be here today, but she recorded a video for us to watch. So I'm going to play that now. And if you can't hear it, please, somebody let me know.
Hello, my name is Kendra Stein, and I'm a family and relationship coach and part of the Self-Care Isn't Selfish team. And so I'm excited to share with you today a tip and a trick in helping to prevent overwhelm and stress and managing stress during the holidays. And my focus is on parents with children because I have 5 of my own. My oldest is 19 and my littlest one is 8, and there's all the in-betweens. And so holidays can be stressful. Holidays can be overwhelming. And a lot of times it's the emotions that get to us. And what happens is that we tend to try to keep going as long as we can, and we have emotions and things that happen, and we just keep trying to shove them down and keep going, and eventually we explode, and eventually we're overwhelmed in our emotion, whether it's the parent or the child, right? I'm sure, have all experienced as a parent having our own meltdown, and of course we can see children having tantrums and just giving up, or where their emotions just take over and they're too much. And so how can we prevent that? What can we do about that? Well, my tip is to slow down and create space for emotions. If we create space for the emotions, then they won't get bottled up and explode. And we think sometimes by shoving them down, we're not showing them to anybody. We think that we're, keeping them to ourselves, but we often are leaking out our emotions, whether we like it or not. It's really hard to contain them. So we become passive aggressive or make little comments or have a kind of just a tone in our voice. Well, we're not really hiding our emotion from anybody. It's coming out whether we like it or not. And it builds up, and then eventually is the explosion. And so when we create space for the emotions, then we deal with them as they come. We're feeling a feeling. Oh, let's slow down and make time and space to check in with that emotion and feel, what am I feeling? What do I need? right? Usually behind a feeling is a need. And so we want to take time for that. And it saves us time in the long run because then we're not dealing with the tantrum or the overwhelm that shuts everything down, right? And then our kids remember the holidays as more of a pleasant, joyful, connecting experience as opposed to, yeah, the holidays are when everyone gets really stressed out and lots of big feelings. And, there's that. We don't want the kids to remember that. We want to remember the holidays as being more full of joy and laughter and fun. And so we want the good emotions. We need to create space for the negative ones, right? Feeling sad or frustrated or angry or afraid. Those emotions are really important. And if we give space to them, then we move through them and we continue on and have a wonderful time. And so I have an example in which I'll share the trick. So that was the tip, is to create space. And an example is, we have relatives visiting for holidays often, or we're with relatives, we're the ones visiting them. And so kids can maybe act a little different or feel a little bit more embarrassed around relatives that they don't know as well. And so I had my youngest, my dad came to visit and we were going out to eat. And my 8-year-old, who has big emotions, was all of a sudden refusing to go into the restaurant. She didn't want to go inside. And she was like, I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat. And that makes me confused. And when I get confused, I get really angry. So she was really angry because she was confused, because she was hungry, but she didn't want to eat. She did not want to go in the restaurant, but she was hungry, but she didn't want to go. So she was so confused. So she was really angry. And so in the past, when I was not as conscious in my parenting, I would have tried to bribe or placate or shame or quiet that feeling and just suck it up and let's go in there and have lunch with grandpa, right? He's waiting. It would be embarrassing for me as a parent that my dad's like sitting there in the restaurant with my other kids waiting for me. That's, I'm like, I want him to be happy. And so I would have tried these other tactics in the past to just get her to shove her feelings down, suck it up, and let's go inside. Put on a positive attitude. But I know better now. I have more awareness and consciousness in my parenting. And so I took time. I took my daughter outside of the restaurant. There was some places to sit there. And I said, okay, so you're really angry, aren't you? She's like, yes, I'm so angry. And so my trick is do a little bit of body movement with your children to get them to express some of that feeling, whether it's anger or sadness or fear. Get them to move in some way to express that feeling. And so I was like, so what do you want to do? You're angry. What do you want to throw something? And she's like, yeah. And I said, let's take your shoe and let's throw it on the ground. So we took off her shoe and she threw it on the ground. And then I was like, hey, that felt pretty good, huh? She's like, yeah. And I was like, here, take your next one. So she got her shoe and she like threw it on the ground. And so then I was like, okay, how do you feel now? And she was like, better, but I'm still confused. And so now that we helped regulate her system, she could start to function more in her thinking brain, and she's out of the emotional brain, and not all the way, but more enough to where she can actually have a conversation. Because before she was too amped up, too much in that emotion to really have a conversation with. So we did some movement, we express the emotion a little bit. And then we got to the bottom of the confusion. And I said, so when you think about going in the restaurant, what else do you start to think about? What comes up? And she said, I remember the last time that I went to a restaurant with a relative and she was shamed or kind of put down and because she didn't like the meal. And so they were saying, kind of not on purpose, but just as adults, we sometimes do that to try to get the kids to eat. But she felt really embarrassed that she didn't like what she ordered and she was seen as like picky or a bad kid because she wouldn't eat her food. So that was her experience. It came out. She told me all about it. I never even knew until that moment. And so then I said, oh, that makes sense. yeah, oh, I can see that. Of course, you don't want to go in there because you remember that and you're afraid of that happening again. She's like, yeah. Oh, the relief, you can feel it in their little bodies when you tell them that they make sense. And so then I said, okay, well, what if you just order some fries and a lemonade while we're here? Because you know you like that. And then when we get home, you can eat a real lunch. Okay. And she was like, yes, that would be so great. And so then we put her shoes back on, walked back in, and she was very happy and behaved very well. And the lunch went great. And then when we got home, I gave her some food. So it was a beautiful solution using my tip and my trick, creating space, slowing down, taking the time, because it took me, what, 5 minutes or so to get to that place where she could feel regulated and seen and understood. And then we came to a solution and then everything was fine. Whereas if I wouldn't have taken that extra 5 minutes and tried to just get her to shove her feelings down, they would have leaked out. They would have, or been a big meltdown. And that I was afraid of the feelings. And so I would have tried to a different tactic in the past that would have made my fear come true. So if we just let go of our fear of feelings and embrace them and create space for them, then we can be excited when the kids have a feeling, oh, let's get that out now so we can have a better time after the feeling's out and we're all on good terms. And so create this space for emotions. And then the trick is sometimes somatic work, moving your body, throwing stuff. Throwing shoes is great because they can't really get damaged, or stomping the floor is really great for kids too. Just stomp. Yeah, let them get it out. It's okay. It's good. And so those are, if you do those things, then we prevent that big overwhelm or the feelings leaking out. And we can really make so much more room for the good feelings, for the love and the connection and feeling free and relaxed. And we had a great lunch that day. And so that's my tip and trick for the holidays. I hope that it works for you and you get a chance to try it out. And I just thank you for letting me share. So have a great holiday season, everybody. Bye.
That was amazing. All three of you. I just want to say thank you for these amazing presentations from, I was almost in tears listening all of you, and love the tips from all of you, Shauna and Myrna and Kendra. And I think we have now breakout rooms. And so we keep the opportunity for you to just take some takeaways from the sharing. And I don't know, is it 5 minutes, Myrna?
I think we have time to do 15.
Oh, 15 minutes. Okay, so if you have three in a group or two?
2 or 3. Yeah.
Two in a group. So take time that each one of you can share all your takeaways and realizations.
Yep. So we're ready to open the group now? I mean,
Yes.
okay, I'm opening the rooms. Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second. Somebody left and I will move somebody into another group. 1 second, sorry. Oh, come on. How do I do this? Sorry.
No worries. We have time.
All right. There we go. All right, opening the rooms. Fazwe, do you know how to join your group?
So I'm sure you had some exciting exchanges and realization on sharing with each other. I'm sorry, I was not prepared to. Are we sharing it now? What, Myrna, or later? Does anybody wants to share anything? What do you think, Myrna? Is it now a good time?
We have a couple minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody want to share anything? What are your takeaways from these presentations? You can write it on the chat, or you can share.
I can share. Claudine had to leave, but we were very inspired by all the speakers and the different tips. But Claudine had another one, and that was near the end of their Christmas get together. They actually organized the next year. So everybody shares what they would like, if there's another place they'd like to meet or a different kind of food. So I thought that was a great idea, but she had to leave and go to work. So I'm just sharing that for her as an additional tip.
Wow. So at the end, to decide together where they meet next year. That's
Yeah.
cool idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Getting
Yeah.
prepared already year
Very
before.
prepared.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Blandine.
Yes, it's more a question for Myrna. I'd like, Myrna, if you could explain a little bit more what the gratitude jar is. How does that work?
Okay, I think we're gonna keep that question till the Q&A, which is after, we have
okay.
one more presentation, but I'm happy to talk more about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And while I'm unmuted, I just wanted to say, I could totally see myself using Kendra's example with my granddaughter, who has big feelings too. So, you know, I can definitely do a better job of incorporating that when I spend time with her.
That tool is just amazing. Okay, thank you, Myrna. And then now we go for Roseanne. Roseanne is guiding us through tapping around triggers during the Christmas holidays.
Okay, hi everybody again. So emotional freedom technique has been around a long time, and its history is from ancient Chinese medicine because it uses the acupuncture points. So I'm not going to go a lot into the history, or even there's been a lot of brain research about how EFT is helpful. But we've done a couple of other sessions in Self-Care Isn't Selfish. You can listen to the recordings. I think I would like to just jump into actually doing it so we can all walk away maybe a little less stressed, or, you know, just feeling more confident about the holiday season. So there's two ways we can do it. Either if someone wants to volunteer, if they have something that's been stressing them recently, and we can do that and everyone tap along, or we can just pick a pretty common topic. So does anybody want to volunteer to be the one to share their topic? Oh, I don't see everyone's face, but it's okay. If no one wants to volunteer, we can just do it on generally any stress that's coming up regarding the holidays. Does that sound okay for everybody? Does anybody not have any stress? Okay, we'll do this one then. So we're going to start with just putting your hands on your heart and take 3 deep breaths. Okay, and now think of any kind of specific event that has happened recently, or that you're anticipating happening because it's happened before in the holidays. Any kind of feeling, and just give it a number from 1 to 10, 1 being just barely bothering you and 10 being absolutely horrible. You want to just go hide in the closet during the holidays. So just come up with a number from 1 to 10 to assess where that emotional state is. And then Myrna, if you could put up the chart we have a chart with the different points, and we're just going to go through it together. And I'm just going to use stress, the word stress, just so you know it's going to work for anybody that has any stress whatsoever. This will be really helpful. So think about that situation. I don't see it. Can everybody see the chart on the body of the different points? Okay, okay, good. Okay, so we're going to start. There's on the side of your hand, we're not going to do all the fingers. And just to let you know, as many people that do tapping, they have their own way of doing it. But I really like this part this way. Like Nick Ortner and his sister Jessica, they are fabulous. And if you want more information, also Dawson Church is really good. You could find them on YouTube or Google it. But so anyway, everybody does start with, they call it the trigger karate chop point right on the side of your hand where your little finger is. Just tap on that and then say, even though I feel this stress, I completely love and accept myself. And just say that 3 times. And if you can say it out loud, that's good. But if you just want to say to yourself, that's fine too. Even though I'm feeling some stress, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling some stress around the holidays, I completely love and accept myself. So we'll start on the inner eyebrow. Just tap, tap, tap. This stress. And it can be as simple as just saying the word, the stress. Or you can say the event, like my crazy Aunt Sue triggers me every year. Whatever it is, just think about that and tap on it. So the outer eyebrow. And we're just tapping with a couple of fingers, just gently. And then under the eye, this stress with the holidays coming. So stressful. Under the nose. Not sure what to prepare, what to cook, if everybody's going to like it. Gift buying is so stressful. I hate them all. And then on your chin, under your lip, this stress. And remember to breathe. And then there's a point on either side of your collarbone. And I usually just take my whole hand and tap there so that you get both sides. This stress. And also, by the way, you can do left or right, doesn't matter when you're doing the tapping. You could do both sides or just one side. And then there's a point under your arm. It's right where your bra strap is. The stress. And breathe. And the top of your head, just all around there, top of your head, the stress. And we're going to do one more round, starting with the inner eyebrow. Stress. I want to let go of this stress. And then the outer eyebrow. I want to have a stress-free holiday. Under the eye. Feel the stress leaving my body so I can just enjoy my family and friends during this time. Under the nose. Letting go. And breathing deeply. Under the chin, or yeah, right under the lips on the chin. Stress is leaving my body and my mind. And the collarbone. Releasing the stress. And under the arm. Just tired of the stress. And the top of the head. So just check in and see if your number has gone down any. How are you feeling? So also to let you know, if you have a really high level stress, you might need to go through that series a few times to start feeling it coming down. And then for the sake of time, I moved on because you can also start tapping on what do you want? So I want to let go of the stress. How do you want to feel? So let's do it one more time. How about, can you guys just put some words in the chat? How do you want to feel during the holidays? And then we're going to use those words to tap it in and anchor it in. You want to feel joy? Do you want to feel calm? Relaxed? Yeah. Peaceful? Enjoying time with the children? Yeah, that's great. Content, peaceful, happy. That's great. Excited and connected, joyful and connected. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to tap those positive statements in. And we'll do it on our karate point on the side of the hand. I really want to feel relaxed this holiday season. I want to feel peaceful, enjoy time with children. I want to relax. I want to feel content and peaceful and happy. I want to be excited and connected, joyfully connected and grounded. And then we'll just go through the points saying those words. You can say your own word or you can pick some of these. I'm just going to go through all of them again. Relaxed, peaceful, and enjoying the time with children. Relaxed, content, peaceful, happy, under the eye. Excited and connected, under your nose, above your lip. Joyfully connected and grounded, under your lip on the chin. Relax. I want to feel relaxed and peaceful and enjoy this time with children and family. I want to feel relaxed, content, peaceful, happy. Collarbone. Excited and connected. Joyful connection. I want to feel grounded. And under your arm, relaxed, content, peaceful, happy, joyfully connected, grounded. On top of your head, relaxed, peaceful, enjoying the children, content, peaceful and happy, excited and connected, joyfully connected and grounded. And take a few deep breaths. And just kind of check in with yourself again and see where your numbers are. So does anybody want to share or put in the chat if their numbers came down? Feeling a little more peaceful and relaxed? Where you can unmute yourself and share. Six to 4, good. All right. From 8 to 5. And how do you want to feel? Yeah, I love that one too. I think when tapping first started, it just focused on the negative emotions, but I love that it's shifting after you release the negative, that you kind of anchor in how do you want to feel. So awesome. Thanks, everybody. And I really encourage you to use this tool during the holidays. If something triggers you, you can easily excuse yourself, go into another room, and it takes just 2 minutes to do it. And also, you can do it as a surrogate. If you have small children around under 18, you can act as a surrogate for them and help them to calm down as well. So that's it for me. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Tapping is so amazing. Touching those points, it
Yeah.
really works. It really relaxes. It works also for
Yeah.
physical pain. So
Yes, I
that
forgot
is,
to mention
yeah,
that. Thank you.
yeah, because I'm using it in physical pain and it really works. So
Mhm.
yeah, thank you, Roseanne. You are so calm and you're just a perfect tapping teacher because you just get us to there and just allow it to leave the body and feel that joy and relaxation. So thank you. At least I
You're
feel good about
welcome.
it. Yeah,
Good, good.
and
Thank you.
it's a good idea to use that tool if possible. Because when we relax, other people feel it, family feels it. So thank you. So now we move into questions and answers. So you can put them on the chat or you can unmute yourself if you have any questions for all the speakers today. Is Shona, looks like Shona left. Is Shona here still?
She's still there.
Oh, she is
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't see you. In case you get questions.
So is
So
it okay for me to address the one that Blondine asked?
absolutely, yes. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so the idea of the gratitude jar is just as a place to hold it. So there's different ways you could do it. If you have family around, you are living in the same house, you can just use Post-its or a piece of paper throughout the year. You can write things that you're grateful for. If it's just a time for gathering together as a family, you could use it just for that day and say, this is a jar. How about everybody writes something they're grateful for and puts it in the jar. And then later with everyone, we read it together, just, you can do it anonymously or you can do it, they can write their name. It's an alternative. If you want to focus on appreciating each person, then pass the paper one is a more intentional way, but sometimes it's easier for people to do it throughout the day and then read it with dessert or something. I don't know. Does that answer your question, Blondine? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Mhm.
Also, I like a lot what you said about the first one. What was it? Where you pass the paper. I mean, pass it on. Yeah, I will do that on Thanksgiving or Christmas with my family. I love that idea.
Yeah, I think I first I heard about it, that a teacher did it in the classroom because, that gave everybody a chance to feel what they were valued or appreciated. Even if they just said, I like your green glasses or something, simple, still they feel acknowledged. It might be something that it's harder to do if you have kids who can't write, if you have young children, but I think it's very, very moving.
I think so because a long time ago, when I was young, we did the opposite. We passed the paper what we didn't like each other and then tried to fix it. That does not work. That does not work. So focus on, like Tony Robbins go, where focus goes, energy flows. So focus on the positive and that grows. Yeah. Anybody, and are there any more questions? Is there any chat? That's also a good point what Shona said, that we can verbally go around and share with what we like about each other. Have you done that, Shona, in your family? How was it?
Yeah. Well, it's always a fun experience. Cute, funny, silly. Yeah, each time is different. They're young, but yeah, they have, I want them to learn how to say nice things about their sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it was very so much so much richness on it that we don't even have any questions. Does anybody have any comment anymore, or or if you have any own experiences, what you've done with your family, you can share also. We have a little bit time here. Anybody want to share? And
Yeah, I
go
could
ahead,
share.
Liz. Mhm.
Yeah, I could really relate with Shauna. And yeah, my husband is the one that likes the Chinese food or just going out. We had a similar one with the Indian restaurant on yeah, on Christmas Day. But yeah, I really I kind of feel it's never too late to learn these tips and tricks. And even my kids are now out of the house. My youngest one is 18, but I I thought, okay, well, we didn't, yeah, I don't know if we even had a Christmas that was nice. I don't think there was one. Sorry to say, but now I'm like, oh, uh-huh, now I get it. You know, I was trying to please my husband. Now I get it. And I was in overwhelm myself. And I'm like, I had really nice Christmases growing up. Everything was perfect, you know, the food, the presents, the tree, but there must have been something not right. Something must have been unsaid, because why do I feel overwhelmed when I'm triggered by my husband during every holiday? So now I'm starting to realize, aha, you know, my mom was actually from Austria and she came here by herself. So I think she had a lot of homesickness and a lot of depression in the holidays. And it was never addressed. And I don't think I could ever be really able to express, as Kendra shared. I don't think I was ever allowed, yeah, to be sad or mad. So I feel like, yeah, now I can understand it, and I have so many tools, and I feel like right now the most important is that I'm happy. What makes me happy? What can I change? And so yeah, I really appreciate today. I got so many takeaways. Um, I was sharing with my group that I'm going to go to Europe for Christmas this year. And my son is already there and invited me to come. And I have relatives in Austria, and my husband has relatives in Switzerland. And I was able to be bold enough to say, hey, who else wants to come? Mom's going to join Ben. Who wants to come? Who doesn't want to come? It's your choice. And so only my second son, he reacted, oh, I want to go. So the three of us are going. And it's been 38 years since I've seen my cousins. And it's the first time ever I've seen my husband's brother and sister. So a lot of tapping the past couple weeks, but we're going. And I feel like and my husband suddenly secretly got his passport. I'm like, oh, well, honey, why are you getting your passport? Are you considering to go too? And he said, yeah, I'm thinking about it. So I feel like, yeah, if I'm moving, the family does move and my husband does move. So I think I have to, yeah, really keep moving and not be stuck. If someone else is stuck, I don't have to be stuck. So anyway, that's my little sharing, but I feel like this is going to be the best Christmas ever because yeah, I'm following this, yeah, inside my heart, this and lots of support from all of you and my friends like, yes, Liz, go for it. You know, with that support is the only way I can do it. Yeah, otherwise I'm stuck in anxiety and overwhelmed. But everyone's like, no, you're doing the right thing. And then he changed. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little story, but I love today's session. And I'm definitely going to practice pass the paper on Thanksgiving. We're doing a potluck with friends. I love this pass the paper idea. So thank you all of you for bringing this on today. It's so great. I'm going to share with others about it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Liz. What a powerful testimony. When you change, your husband just has to change too, no other way. Wow, nice testimony. Thank you. And then we have Alexandra.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much for all the tips. They were all amazing, really. Very, very useful. And I just wanted to mention another thing, that what we do with in our family, it's the music and singing together, singing carols together. It creates really beautiful atmosphere. So we have one very musical daughter who play instruments, piano and guitar. And when she was younger, she was very shy to play in front of other people. Almost never ever happened. But now when she's getting older and getting more comfortable with herself and gaining confidence, she's able to play the instruments in front of other people, even sing, because she sings beautifully too. Never wants to do it publicly, but so we spent Christmas with another family, and they always also have a musical daughter. So when last Christmas, I remember when we got together, and 2 Christmases before, these 2 girls, they would play piano and guitar together, and then we sing Christmas songs or carols together. It creates really a beautiful atmosphere. So just a tip, the music is great. Thank you.
Yeah, music brings the hearts together. That's definitely true. And singing together, it's so beautiful. Yes. Wow, so powerful, Myrna and Roseanne and Sona and and Kendra, of course, but such a powerful session. I also learned so much, so many takeaways.
I just wanted to say one thing about expectations. You know, like if you want to change things from how you've done it in the past, it's good to get buy-in from your family, or like Shauna or like Liz said, you know, just say, I'm doing this, who would like to go with me? Because if we want everybody to get on board and we get frustrated because they don't, that's important for us to, or to just to have a buy-in for what could we change it to? What would it look like? And if the family can't all be together, having a Zoom call, you know, it is a way to include other people as well.
Yeah, great tips, all of them. Yeah, so if there are no more sharings, I'm sure they are for everybody has something, but anyway, our time is coming to an end here. So we do not have self-care program this coming December. We take a break on December because everybody is very busy. And our next one is on January 13th. And this is going to be an incredible program. Junaid Johnson is teaching about reimagining your home, recreating your home. I'm so excited about this already. Junaid Johnson is the CEO and founder of You Aesthetic Style. Yes, it's a personal styling business that empowers millennial women, especially moms, to create home and outfit they love based on knowing what personality inspires them. And as a mom of 3, she knows how busy life can get. All her digital products, programs, and services offer simple and practical ways to enjoy the beauty in your life. So Junaid will help us to discover how we want to feel in our home on daily basis, and join us to hear how she realized that asking for help is an important part of self-care. So I think there's a lot to learn, because I would love to make my home a little bit more cozy. So I'm excited about this already. So that will be on January 13th. I hope you don't miss it. And I think that's it for today. If there is nothing else, I thank you for all of you. We're all very special. You come here on Saturday, and I'm sure you get a lot of takeaways. And I know that not everybody you spoke, but we honor you that you were here and you take your time. And I hope that you have an amazing holiday season, all of you. Any last word, Myrna?
No? Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for coming, and we see you on January 13th. Don't forget to register. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
You too. Bye.
Happy peaceful, joyful holidays. Relaxed.